New episode. Whatever the hell the name of this episode is, it sucked. Alright, this shipping container was like hell. Literally, reincarnate. This thing was over 120 degrees on the inside.
So this container, I mean, it's scary. You know, this is a huge container where it's enclosed. There's bodies in there flying across this container as it's lifting and it's shifting, and you just hear the guys like pounding each other in there, and not in a good way, you know what I mean, like in a bad way.
Props to our amazing art department, because the stuff that they create is bonkers, right? And they're doing it in third world countries. It's pretty amazing. However, they had just finished painting and like putting this whole thing together on the inside, and it was filled with paint fumes. So they lock us in this thing, and there's just tiny windows up at the top for this ventilation. We're all gas mess in there, so we're high as a kite trying to figure out this puzzle. Oh, and not to mention we're sliding at about 40 miles an hour at each other with only yoga balls to protect us.
So like you're listening to this, girls are outside watching this like, I cannot fucking believe I have to go in that thing. Like, this is horrifying. I don't know why I sign up for the challenges. I really don't. And it's in moments right before you do it where my heart's like, and I'm like, this is not what I want to be doing with my life. I don't know why I do it. And then, you know, when you're in the game, you're not really thinking about that.
Honestly, it was so much fun. The look on these guys' faces as we're sliding down to like smash each other is priceless. I mean, this is like watching, for me, it was like being 8 years old, jumping from bed to bed, like slamming each other on the trampoline when we were little kids. So I had a blast, and it was really fun.
This is another one where there was just too many cooks in the kitchen. I wasn't going to be a strategist in this. I was just going to go in there and do my best to try to complete a puzzle that like also didn't make any sense because I'm not that great at puzzles. So I don't know, I was just kind of getting my body flown around in there, and I was also being really polite to a lot of the girls. Like, you know, the guys are in there and they're like, yo, fuck you, like smash him, kill him. Us girls, every time we would slide, we'd be like, are you okay? Is everybody okay in here? Like, we all felt like we were battered women or something, like in this obstacle course, and we were just kind of like trying to survive it together. So we were a lot more united in that than I think the boys were.
Now let's get down to what the hell happened in there. This container, you would think that you'd be able to grab onto some things, right? No, they put down slick floors. And then they put baby powder on these floors, so we slid extra fast. We walk in there and like, what are these yoga balls for? Like, they're just gonna get in our way. Oh, no. They're there to save our lives, okay? So you've got yoga balls flying everywhere because, you know, the UK is kicking them at us. Then you have these puzzle pieces that are, you know, the size of Polly that we have to carry around and find them every time you slide either way. So a big strategy for us going into this, I told everybody, hey, as this thing starts to slide, no matter where we are with the puzzle, we obviously can't figure it out in the next 10 seconds. Just stick it and slide. That way we don't have to find these puzzle pieces again. And we figured that out about halfway through, and that really started to help. So less struggle trying to find everything every single time this thing tipped.
I know that Turbo came out of the guy's container saying that he solved the entire puzzle, and then we heard rumors after that like, he wasn't the one that solved that puzzle. There was a bunch of people in there who solved that puzzle. So I think that's just kind of testament to how he plays the game. I think like anytime he does something that maybe is like good, he's going to act like he's king of the castle. So I think that we started to really see his true colors here. And not to mention Jordan did kind of test his manhood previously. So I think that that's kind of why he walked around like the Burger King.
I do have little picky thing about this. You know, when we went in for our second go, production gave us a little hint at how this thing was going to go together. So we all get in there, and immediately Pauly was actually the one who was like, hey, this piece goes there. And when Pauly figured out that piece, the other pieces really kind of fell in. So if you ask me, Pauly was the one who really kind of got that solving process going. But if you watch closely, as soon as TJ opens that door after we won, Turbo runs out of this thing saying he figured it out, and maybe my memory serves me wrong. Maybe I'm just biased right now because Turbo and I have been butting heads, but Polly was the one that really figured that out for us. I thought that for me it was kind of like a whoa, what is this, man? That's not very humble. Granted, it's funny coming from me, but still, credit where credit's due. You know, Polly, good job. Thanks for solving that because it sucked in that container.
Oh, the paint fumes inside were really bad. The heat, I do hot yoga. So it was just kind of like a hot yoga class. Imagine being in a hot yoga class and then the room just flipping upside down. Like, no big deal.
Now, a huge thing for Team USA that really handicapped us was, the challenge gods love him, Turbo. He's got a great mind and he's actually really good at puzzles. So Turbo took the lead on this one. We were all cool giving him the lead on that. Unfortunately, for the first half of our time, we were trying to do the puzzle wrong. We didn't realize there was a key right next to the puzzle that we're trying to figure out, and we were trying to put this thing together wrong. So about 15, 20 minutes in, I figure out, guys, this is here for a reason. This is the key that we're supposed to use. It needs to be flat edges out there. Glad we caught it, and really glad the UK didn't somehow put this thing together while we were, sticking our thumbs up our butts. And luckily we got the stalemate and got to get out of there, because when you're doing puzzles, the number one fear in the back of your mind is you're about to hear the other team start cheering, yeah, and you're like, fuck, they got it, lucky bastards. So it's good for us they didn't capitalize on that mistake. So TJ lets us know, guys, you've hit your time limit and it's going to be up to the girls now to figure this out. And we're like, all right, well, please, come on. We have a couple puzzle masters on the team, self-proclaimed puzzle master, Cara, Cam, Ashley, let's get this thing. And I think it's a testament to how hard this thing was because they didn't get close either. We thought for sure Ashley and Cam would be able to get this thing figured out when we couldn't, and it was very tough. So for them to time out as well, I think was a testament to how hard this was, and just how discombobulating it was being in this container. 30 degrees is a lot, and 60 feet at 30 degrees, that is a long slide. So very testy. This challenge, it doesn't look that gnarly, or it may not, maybe it does. But I do not think the video does it justice for just how difficult it was to work in very tight quarters, very hot, very low oxygen, and then it was a very, very difficult puzzle. So this challenge definitely ranks up there as one of the tougher challenges I've done, especially when you had all those minds in there. USA is a very strong team, and for no one to really figure that out until the second go, this is a hard challenge.
So, all I know is that people are trying to instigate Jordan to fight Turbo. Cara, Ashley, Ninja, they want Jordan out of this house so bad. So during this episode, I remember running into the room when Jordan and Turbo were going at it, and I'm hearing Cara and Ashley screaming at Turbo, he said this about you, he said this about you, when they're trying to calmly have a conversation. And I'm just looking at them, I'm like, bro, I'm watching you guys instigate this fight. I'm watching you guys try to make this something bigger than it is. And it's crazy to me because they want Jordan gone so bad because they don't like his personality. But they're forgetting that Jordan is one of the best players on our team. It's almost like they're willing to sacrifice just an annoyance that they have for him because they don't like him. So they're trying to set Turbo up and fume Turbo up so that he gets mad at Jordan, so potentially there's a fight. But Jordan is way smarter than that. He's way calmer than that. He is a professional. He's not going to go in there and start swinging. He might get angry, he might yell at somebody, but he knows that if he puts his hands on somebody, he's going home. He's not going to risk that. Turbo, on the other hand, clearly didn't get that memo. So I think that once that fight started to break out, it was pretty intense to watch, especially watching Jordan just kind of mock Turbo, watching Turbo scream at Jordan, even though Turbo was the one that was wrong here. I am 100%, and no camera caught me doing this, I am 100% in the background on a table crying my eyes out when this is happening. I had a producer come up to me after, like, Tori, where were you for this? I'm like, I can't believe you guys didn't have a camera on me bawling my eyes out. This is like the first time this season that I was crying so hard. I had hit a wall. I was like scared for Jordan. I'm like mentally and physically drained. I'm so over everybody in this house. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with any of this bullshit and this drama. And I finally hit my breaking point, and I was bawling my eyes out in a corner. And I'm pretty sure you're not going to see it on TV. Pretty sure they didn't put it in there because producers asked me, like, where were you during this whole fight? But I mean, it's just, you know, eventually you hit a breaking point with some of these things, and you just do your best to kind of keep your head up and remember this is just a game and it's just about the money. But once it starts to feel like it's becoming real life, that's when it makes you hit a wall.
Well, here we are. Just feel like deja vu to you? Because it definitely felt like it for me. You know, I thought we were over this, but I'll say I did kind of bring it on myself. I do like to put my opinion out there. So, you know, when Kara goats me into talking about my opinion of people on the team, of course I'm going to be very honest, and I'm sorry I'm being very objective when I say this. Turbo has not been performing this season. I said it, mouth diarrhea. I blurted it out there, but that's how I feel. Okay, and all I can go off of is the challenges that I'm seeing. I know this guy has won Survivors, and you know, he won the hardest final ever in challenge history. I wasn't on it. All right, and I'm not throwing that out there as like I'm the best, but I'm the best. And if you didn't run against me, then I don't know that you are really the best, so I don't know that I can really believe that. And did I say Turbo's weak? Yeah. Did I say he was the weakest? No, because he's not the weakest, but I didn't think he was as strong. You know, I didn't even think he was top 3. I thought me, Zach, and Polly were the 3 strongest on the team, and I thought, you know, Turbo sat at a strong 4. You know, just my opinion. Now, where this thing really gets dicey and what really grinds my gears is when Turbo decides to lie about what I said. Now, I think it's very blatant. You've all seen it right there. In the team meeting, I was very vocal about wanting to vote for Joss. That doesn't sound anything like Theo. So when Turbo runs to Theo and says, Theo, Jordan said your name. No, I didn't. And Turbo, you don't pay attention in the meetings anyway. So the fact that you're like throwing out this accusation, I'm like, bro, you sat up there with your sunglasses on, and I honestly, for all intents and purposes, thought he was sleeping during the meeting. That's how vocal this guy is when it comes to making team decisions. And so for Turbo to tell Theo that I said his name, well, you know, Theo's gonna ask me straight up, hey mate, you said my name. No, I said Joss's name. And I even told Joss, right, I'm literally saying this in front of Joss. So what do I have to gain? What face do I have to save? Because I'm literally telling the person that I said their name in front of them. So it's not like I'm trying to protect myself. The fact of the matter is I didn't say Theo's name. And when Turbo's sitting there saying that I said his name, this kind of irks me. So now, of course, this is going to rip off that Band-Aid that we've so delicately put on. And I think the floodgates, as you guys can see, really open. And as 2 really high-level competitors, I think Turbo and I were always in the back of our minds kind of, you know, gauging each other. And this was just one of those moments where it's going to flare and it's going to come out. And we've already had history very recently, so it's fresh. And here we go again. I'm not going to let you sit there and call me a liar and tell me I'm a pussy chicken. Because, homie, I'm the champ. And I settle my beefs. I think anyone that's watched this show, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, Turbo walked around his entire first season saying, Hunter, I'm going to see you in elimination. I'm going to see you in elimination. And he never went. If I tell you I'm going to go to elimination with you, I'm going to go. And for this guy to talk about sending someone to elimination 2 seasons in a row and it not happen, it's just kind of like, what are you doing? Are you a TV tough guy, or are you really going to take this in there? Mind you, we've never seen Turbo in elimination either. So, granted, he's done his thing on Survivor. It's a whole different breed of athlete that we're bringing onto this show. Right? Survivor is not a recurring cast. We are. We see this time and time again, and most of us are training very hard in our off season to come in these things hot and perform as best we can. So, you know, when someone comes at me testing my character and testing my gameplay, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stand up for that. I'm not gonna back down. Again, guys, no, this altercation between Turbo and I, we didn't touch each other, but it's not about whether you touched another castmate or not. The big issue here is that this is the second incident where Turbo has tried to fight security. And at this point, it's not up to us. We saw it on Dirty 30 when Nelson, you know, he pushed a security guard and then he mushed Derek's face. Were they gnarly incidences? Absolutely not. But the fact that it happened more than once, it happened twice, nobody's above that. And anyone that gets in trouble twice with violence and security, they're going home. So it's not our decision to make. And unfortunately, you know, Turbo's got some deep stuff in there, and he's a very, very tough competitor, and he's very passionate, so I can see where he's coming from when he's being stifled by security. And those are some big dudes, and they're very good at their job. So unfortunate that it happens, because I truly want the best in the finals with me. If you see in the episode there, Turbo says, let's go to elimination. And I say, nah, dog, I've been there, I've done that. You don't get paid for elimination wins. You get paid to win finals. And if you really want to test yourself, let's go run. Let's go do another 50-miler, and let's see who comes out on top. And I think that's what the fans would want to see too. So maybe in the future, Turbo and I will get to go at it in elimination. This is McGregor Habib. You know, this is McGregor Diaz. This is what we all want to see. So maybe it goes down, or I would really love to run against this guy in a final, because I think he is good, and I want to know, and I want to prove it to, you know, myself and the challenge gods that be, that I'm the guy. Now, the big misconception is that I somehow got Turbo kicked off. Now, let me set the record very, very straight. Cast members do not have any power to kick someone off. Let's think about this. If we really did, every single time someone had a problem with somebody, they would be running to producers, I want this person off, I want this person off. And let's be very real, Cara would have had my ass kicked off of this show a long time ago if this were true. You know, she has a lot of favor with the producers, and if this were something that were absolutely true, I'd be gone. Especially for some of the things that you guys think that I've done in the past. If you guys think that those were there, you know, the rule would have been pressed for there. No one is above the rules. And to be very clear, no one went to production to say, hey, something needs to be done. Production, as soon as something happens as an altercation, those tapes and footage, that is sent to the legal team at MTV. Period. It's out of the producer's hands. It doesn't matter if the showrunner wants to keep somebody in. If MTV's legal team says, hey, this is a liability we're not willing to take, that's it. It's over. It has been said. You cannot overrule the legal team, because MTV is not going to risk being sued and a multi-billion-dollar franchise get canceled because they wanted to leave somebody on there. For what? There's other seasons and there's other ways that they can go about it. Let them cool and bring them back later. We've seen it many times, right? So let's put that rumor to bed. It's not in our power to get anyone kicked off.